everyone, and welcome to my podcast, Raw in Wonderland. I'm so happy you're here with me today. In this episode, we're diving into a fascinating concept from psychology, transactional analysis. If this term sounds complex, don't worry. I'll break it down in a simple, engaging way so we can explore how it applies to our daily lives. You can think of this episode as Transactional Analysis 101, just enough to open a new window in your mind. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's begin. Developed by Eric Berne, transactional analysis is a theory that helps us understand human behavior and interactions. The word transactional refers to the exchanges between people. One person sends a stimulus and the other responds. These exchanges are shaped by three core states within us: parent, adult, and child. No matter how old we are, all three of these states exist within us. The difference from person to person is in how dominant each state is. Some of us lean heavily on our parent self, while others operate more from the child or adult self. Let's break these down further. Let's begin with the parent state. This is the voice in our head shaped by the first 5 years of our lives. It consists of messages we absorbed from authority figures, mostly parents, but also teachers, relatives, and society. Some of these messages are protective and useful, such as don't run into traffic or wash your hands before eating, but others can be limiting or rigid, like you must always obey authority or emotions are a sign of weakness. The parent state can be divided into two main types: the nurturing parent and the critical parent. The nurturing parent is the caring, supportive voice that comforts and encourages. The critical parent is the voice that judges, criticizes, and sets strict rules. Many of our automatic reactions stem from these early recordings. If we don't examine them, we may continue following them unconsciously even when they no longer serve us. And now let's look at the child state. The child self is the part of us that is spontaneous, emotional, creative, and vulnerable. It is where our joys, fears, and wounds live. This is also where we store feelings of rejection, sadness, or excitement from childhood. The child state can also be divided into two main types: the free child and the adopted child. The free child is our joyful, creative, and spontaneous side. It loves to play, explore, and express emotions freely. The adopted child is the part of us that has learned to comply with or rebel against rules based on past experiences. When we feel unheard, abandoned, or criticized, it is usually our child self reacting. Have you ever felt a wave of anger or sadness that seemed bigger than the situation called for? That's likely your inner child saying, I've been here before and I didn't like it. And now let's look at the adult state. The adult self is our rational, present moment self. It observes, analyzes, and makes decisions based on reality rather than emotions or past programming. This is the state we ideally want to operate from most of the time. Unlike the parent and child states, which are shaped by past experiences, the adult self asks, is this belief still useful? Is this reaction appropriate for the present moment? What are my options? Being in our adult state doesn't mean erasing the parent or child within us. It means integrating them, acknowledging their voices but making conscious choices about when and how to respond. So, how can we apply this to our daily interactions? Here is a simple strategy. The first step is become aware of your inner dialogue. When a strong reaction arises, ask yourself, who is speaking right now? My parent, my child, or my adult? Observe without judgment. Instead of trying to suppress or criticize your emotions, try to understand them. If your inner child is scared, acknowledge that fear. If your parent is lecturing, notice what it is saying and ask, is this still helpful? And engage your adult self. If you feel overwhelmed by emotions, pause and take a breath. Imagine yourself as a mediator between your parent and child, seeking a balanced response. Here is an example for that. Let's say a friend calls you and asks if they can leave their child with you for the evening because of an emergency. You don't particularly enjoy being around children and feel anxious about the responsibility. Your inner dialogue might sound like this. Your child would say, "No, I don't want this. Why is this happening to me?" The parent is saying, "You must say yes. A good person helps in emergencies." And the adult, "I don't feel comfortable taking care of a child alone, but maybe I can ask another friend who enjoys kids to help me out." By acknowledging all three voices, your adult self finds a balanced solution without blindly following the parent or reacting impulsively like the child. One of the most powerful ideas from Thomas Harris's book, I Am Okay, You're Okay, is that true emotional health comes from accepting both ourselves and others as okay. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means recognizing that we are valuable even with our flaws and wounds. Our past does not have to control us, and we can choose how we engage with the present. Transactional analysis gives us a lens to better understand ourselves and our relationships. By identifying when we are operating from our parent, child, or adult state, we can create more conscious, healthy interactions. Remember, you are the main character in your life story and you are also the author. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and embrace the wisdom of your adult self. Bye, guys!